Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay and I am actually starting a new series. So I'm super excited about that. This series is going to be on personal finance and budgeting because I realized that one area of my life that I personally need to work on is learning to budget and learning to live within my means and be able to build a lifestyle that I want without killing myself by working a full-time job. So if that's something that's interesting to you, or if you just want to see what things cost for me and where I live, then please continue to watch my series. I hope to make this fun and engaging and to find a lot of other like-minded individuals out there on the YouTubers. So without further ado, let's jump right into my 2022 annual budget. Okay, so I have up here on my screen, which I will record and put into like the video, my spreadsheet, which has my budget that I created for the year 2022. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to make a little bit of an introduction and let you know what my current circumstances are. So, like I said, my name is Shay. I am in my mid-30s. I live with my partner who is working full-time. Up until last year, I had a full-time job on Wall Street. Maybe this is for a different video, but I decided to resign from that position and do something else with my life. And I'm still kind of teasing out and exploring what that is that I want to occupy my time with. But suffice it to say, we basically have one full-time income, and I also do bring in some income, but it is very much a reduced amount. So we're basically a one-income household. So I budgeted here my partner's income, my income, and then a category that I just called Other, which is income streams that I'm hoping to build over the next few years. Okay, so that is the income portion of my budget. Very, very boring. I simply added all of those three categories up and came up with our monthly income. I'm hoping to be building in the coming year or so. Okay, so jumping down, I have two categories. One is regular expenses and one is sinking funds. So I have seen a lot of budget videos. I love watching budget videos, which is why I kind of wanted to make my own budgeting videos. And I've seen a lot of different ways that people have set up their spreadsheets. I personally like having like a regular expenses section and then a sinking fund section, and then doing like a zero-based budget, which means that I am going to take all of our household income, and every single dollar, every single cent is going to either go into expenses or into a savings account. So either something that's in regular expenses or planned expenses, or something that is one of the savings categories that I'll talk about in a bit. So yeah, that's what I've decided to do. And the reason I chose that is because it's super intuitive to me. Because I've taken accounting classes in college and in business school where we talked about the accounting equation, assets equals liabilities plus equity. And basically it's saying every amount of future benefit, so every dollar that's coming in for a future benefit, can be thought of as being split into liabilities, which are things you have to pay for, so those are like your expenses, and equity, which is what belongs to you, or savings. So I set this up as like a zero-sum budget for that reason. Okay, so looking at the expenses, and I won't go into these in a huge amount of detail, but I do want to explain why I chose the numbers that I did. So if you go into regular expenses, the first one that I budgeted for, which is one that's very critical for survival, is groceries. So I actually have an equation here for how I calculated the monthly grocery spend, and that is $150, which is what we spend roughly monthly. Roughly weekly, multiplied by 4.3, which is the number of weeks in a month. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my grocery bill has increased so much over the past year, and I think a lot of it is attributable to food inflation, which we've seen a lot of over the last year. But I think part of it is just because we're working from home and we're eating from home and we're not going out to eat. So 150 is actually kind of on the low side, you know. We don't, like, 150 is basically what we spend on groceries for the both of us when we don't have, like, any special spends. So by special spends, I mean, like, I don't know, like if we're hosting Thanksgiving, for example, and we have to buy a turkey and all these sides. So that's what I mean by, like, special grocery events. So 150 is like a baseline, and I've just calculated that as, like, the monthly going forward. I think for other, like, special events, like if we have people over and we have to buy a bunch of groceries, I will be taking that out of my sinking funds, which I'll talk about in a little bit. That's groceries. Household consumables, so that's like toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, $150 a month. Now, people might be like, that is extremely high, and I would have thought this too for a month, but I actually went back and looked at how much we spend on paper products and how much we spend on special cleaners, and it does add up a lot. And I think the reason is because we clean a lot. We clean daily because I think partly because we're just so scared of, like, getting sick because of the pandemic. And also we do like to, like, pay up for some things. Like, we do like to use, like, organic, like, for example, we like to use, like, non-toxic ingredients whenever possible, and we do like to buy from, like, smaller brands, so that kind of runs up our consumables bill a little bit. Next thing that we have is housing or rent. That's $3,500 a month, and I do anticipate that that'll go up to $3,600 a month come September, because, as you know, every year the cost of housing rises. And y'all might be asking, well, why are you renting? Like, you're basically throwing this money away. And my answer to you is I hope that we will be saving for our dream home very soon. So that's going to be something that I hope will change in the future. Next item I have here is utilities, which includes gas, electric, and water. And that is $250 a month. Now, utilities is a hard one because every month it fluctuates, but $250 I think is a good estimate for this time of year, like January, because we spend so much money on gas because we have to heat our place, and so that's why it's $250. I think that it will go down a little bit. I have it going down to $200 in April because as it gets warmer, we're going to be heating less, so the cost of gas is going to go down. But the cost of water basically is like stagnant throughout the month, like month to month, I mean. The cost of electricity is actually also cyclical, but it's kind of counter-cyclical to gas because while in the winter you're running gas to heat our home, we are not using as much electricity because we don't have to use AC because it's too cold for AC. But in the summer when we run AC, that's going to make the electric go up. So that's why it doesn't really fluctuate that much on a yearly basis. But it is high. And another reason that I'm going to keep it relatively high is because I want to be conservative. I'd rather budget more for utilities than too little. And Also, because I feel that we use a ton of electricity now that my partner works from home all the time and he's on the computer like 10 hours a day, and I'm building my own business, and that takes a lot of electricity as well.